Hi there, welcome back to Roving Gardens. Now you might remember I made a video earlier on in the year on how to prune wisteria plants. Now that was in the summertime, so that was the July routine, and that was fundamentally to allow more light, more air to get into the plant at the back end of the year to allow this older wood to ripen and the flower buds to develop for the springtime. This will be flowering in 6 or 7 weeks time if it's, conditions are good enough. So now we want to give this plant a slight winter prune. The principle is the same. We want to tidy the plant up. So these shoots here, you can kind of see them. There's a better example of some here. These are the shoots that I pruned in the summertime, and we want to cut those back further into the plant because we want as much accessibility for the flower to develop. If we can leave these, but the plant will be much more scraggy because these can become an unruly mess very quickly. So if we can keep on top of the pruning routine, it maximizes the flowering capacity, and also it makes the plant look much more tidy and much more cultivated. So as I said, we've done the summer prune, so you can refer back to that video. But now that we're in January, we can finish off that pruning. So as I said, these pale young shoots are from the summertime, and you can see there's a bit of dieback. That's absolutely fine because we're going to prune it again now, back to about 1 bud, maybe 2, back to the plant. So I've got a few here, and I can just tidy that up. And what that does is it makes the plant look much more compact, much more tidy, and it allows the flower buds to develop more naturally, and they'll be much more noticeable in the plant. Another thing we want to be doing is identifying the difference between leaf buds and flower buds. So I've got a much more dense cluster of shoots here. You can just see I've got some more remnants of last year. So I'll just prune those back. And what that does is it uncovers this very dense cluster of flowers. So the flower buds are much more round and much more plump compared to leaf buds, which are kind of darker and narrower. So we want to kind of minimize the leaf buds just to enable these flower buds to come through without any competition. And so now in the winter time, the leaves are off the plant, I get a much better view of the plant, so I can kind of see where I'm going to be. You can identify where the flower buds are, and you can just make sure that the plant is much more tidy in how you want it to be. So this is a really healthy area of flowers, so this is going to look amazing. And like I said, 6 or 7 weeks time, depending on the weather. Also, it's a good chance at this time of year to see the skeleton of the plant. You get a lot of these kind of wispy shoots which go deep into the plant. This is a really, really old wisteria, and so it's got a lot of these kind of wispy shoots deep in the crown of the plant. So what I'm going to do, now that I can see the plant, I'm going to get in there, untangle all these whippy shoots. You don't really want these, they just make the plant a mess. So I can reduce these completely back to the plant, back to the crown of the plant. So I just leave these nice clusters, tidy clusters of flower, and you can kind of see it's much more cultivated. It just looks tidier. There's no wispy dead bits coming off, and this will allow the flowers just to kind of cascade down nicely without any competition. So my job now, as yours will be at this time of year in January, get into the bones of the plant and just tidy it up and get these wispy shoots away to maximize the flowering capacity of your wisteria plants at this time of year.